Jay McDaniels broke his hand. Rudy Gobert threw his hands and got suspended. The Minnesota Timberwolves are shorthanded, literally, as they enter their play-in matchup with the Los Angeles Lakers. Winner gets the Memphis Grizzlies on Sunday. LeBron out in transition, a little don't mind if I do throwdown. But in the first half, it was Minnesota striking first. You saw Cat get a deuce, and then how about the other star in Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, with the big-time rejection on Rui Hachimura. The two would exchange pleasantries as we go into the second quarter. It's LeBron for three, and then LeBron getting it back from D'Angelo Russell. And look at the English, the King puts on that finish to cap off a 14-2 Lakers run. But Minnesota, they weren't going anywhere. They responded with a 14-2 run of their own. It's Cat finding Mike Conley, who was just sensational in this basketball game. Minnesota up as we enter the half. Third quarter, it's Reeves finding LeBron. Another easy throwdown. Cat, 2 of his 24 points, 11 rebounds. And then how about Kyle Anderson shooting that one in slow motion, but effective. Minnesota regains control of this one. It's a 5-point game. Reeves finds AD, who attacks the rim. 24 points, 15 rebounds. Lakers making a run once again in the fourth. Minnesota go back to the well. It's Conley, who knocked in 6 3-pointers in this one. T-Wolves once again up 5. AD still fighting. He goes inside. His co-star LeBron from the perimeter ties this game up at 95 with 2 minutes to go. Same score. Lakers get a chance to win this one. At the end of regulation, LeBron attacks. He finds Dennis Schroder, who finds the bottom of the net for presumably the game-winning bucket. Lakers win the 7-8 play-in matchup, right? Not so fast. Minnesota still got a second and a half remaining. They call a timeout. And can you believe it? That's enough time for Anthony Davis to foul Mike Conley on a game-time three-pointer. With a 10th of a second to go, Conley's got a chance to tie. The first one bounces in. The other 2 free throws are money. Mike Conley been around the block a couple times over of late. He's found a landing spot in Minnesota, and the old Wisely vet drills the game-time free throws. We would go to overtime in the extra period, a little give and go between 2 Twitch buddies. AD finds Schroder. LeBron doesn't play Twitch. I think he likes Madden though. He finds AD for a grown man deuce. Lakers up 5. They, again, in theory, are about to win this game, but LeBron turns the basketball over. Minnesota gets a great look to tie an OT. It's no good for Taurean Prince, and the Lakers come back to hold on, and I mean hold on, to a 108-102 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their next destination is my hometown, the Grindhouse, for a matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies on Sunday. That was a fantastic basketball game from start to finish. Look, I know the commissioner of the league, Adam Silver, gets a lot of blame. He gets a lot of vitriol, a lot of criticism. Let's call a spade a spade. He's been known to be very player-friendly, which oftentimes being player-friendly is not the best and most advantageous for the fans. Load management is a real thing. It was not a real thing under David Stern. I'm just saying, but I do want to stop and give Adam Silver a lot of credit. You know, one of his inventions that we've seen over the last couple years has been this play-in tournament. He's about to start another one next year with this tournament in season. But this play-in tournament between seeds 7 through 10 out east and out west, it's working. There is excitement in the NBA that you just don't see right before the playoffs. I just love what this play-in tournament has brought to the game. Honestly, it's involved my Lakers a couple times over the last few years. As we get to the game for Minnesota, they now have to turn their heads quickly. They will go back home and look forward to a Friday matchup against either the New Orleans Pelicans or the I'm having a brain fart right here. I apologize. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Those two teams are going to play hard. I think that'll be another really good game for Minnesota. I thought they played 2.5 quarters of really great basketball. Mike Conley was phenomenal. Karl-Anthony Towns had a really good first half. Got in foul trouble. I thought there were a couple of suspect fouls that he got in the third quarter, I believe, involving Anthony Davis. Just a couple suspect calls. The Lakers have been the beneficiaries of the whistles pretty much ever since they lost that Boston game. What was that, back in January, early February? Remember when LeBron thought he was fouled at the rim? Pretty much if you go back to date since then, the Lakers have been getting a ton more fouls called in their favor versus their opposition since that moment. I'm a Lakers fan, so you don't hear me complaining, but I do see a couple calls in games, just being unbiased, removing myself from the game where it's like, yeah, the Lakers, they're definitely getting the benefit of the call. They are usually the more aggressive team, but they didn't got a couple calls. I thought Minnesota got a couple calls that didn't work in their favor. Like I said, Mike Conley was really good. I thought Kyle Anderson brought a lot to this game as well for Minnesota. I want to say this, man. Anthony Edwards has been awful in a lot of these big games. I mean, we could date this back to last year in the first round of the playoffs against the Memphis Grizzlies. Look, I don't need Anthony Edwards to have 5-6 great games in a row, but I can't have these awful games. What was he, 3 for 17 in this one? If he just goes 8 for 17, 9 for 17, you got to believe Minnesota wins this game and maybe going away, right? Like, he was just the missing piece to the puzzle. Already down a few guys. You remember they got guys fighting each other. They got guys fighting the wall. And not to mention they lost Naz Reid, which was a big piece to their puzzle while Karl-Anthony Towns was down. You missing all that. You cannot afford for your young star to go 3 for 17 in a big game. A game in which, by the way, if Minnesota wins it, I'm going to be honest with you, with Rudy Gobert coming back, with the addition of Mike Conley, the former Memphis Grizzly, I tweeted out during the game, I think that Memphis-Minnesota series was going 7 this year. I would have probably picked Memphis in 7, but Minnesota's did some things correctly that would have given them a real shot against Minnesota. And even if they're able to win the 8 seed on Friday against the Pelicans or the Thunder, I'm not so sure they match up well against the Denver Nuggets like they do that Memphis Grizzlies team this year. Now, let's go over to the Lakers. Y'all got to forgive me, man. I be watching these games, and probably because LeBron James is one of the greatest of all time, I'm always watching LeBron, and maybe I'm over-watching him, maybe over-analyzing him. I call it the Skip Bayless syndrome. I think Skip Bayless has just really kind of fried our brains a little too much with the debate-style television that he was one of the grandfathers of here in this last decade and some change. I used to work at ESPN, so I used to work with Skip Bayless. I think he's kind of like diluted and kind of colluded my mind to like always look at LeBron in games. Because I watched this game, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I thought LeBron was playing awful. I went and got my phone. I was like, oh, wow, 12 of 21 from the field, 30 points, double-digit rebounds. His plus-minus was a negative 14, but you got to give the brother credit. He played more minutes than everybody. I think he played 45 minutes. Obviously played the overtime. At the end of regulation, he was the one that made the game-winning drive, kick out to Dennis Schroder, who knocks in the game-winning three-pointer. So from what I saw, I just thought LeBron was just too lazy with the basketball, at least 5 or 6 turnovers. I was about to say he played a bad game. And on defense, you can catch LeBron or Anthony Davis. In regards to that three-point line, AD's been phenomenal down low defensively pretty much this entire year. But on the perimeter, you could just catch LeBron and AD ball watching. That's how Mike Conley got a few of them threes, a couple of them open looks. Taurean Prince had a couple looks as well. But I got to give a lot of credit to LeBron for the plays he made down the stretch. Give him credit. Got to give him credit. Looked at the box score, played a much better game than I thought he did. I still believe that Lakers offense is best suited to not run through LeBron, which is him kind of make a drive and kick play every possession. I just don't like that style of basketball. I don't think it's going to work going forward for the Lakers if they want to have some success in the first round of the playoffs, which, by the way, we will be talking about in more detail in the upcoming days. I got a few days rest here with just playing games, so I will be going through every series and telling y'all my predictions, and I'll probably run a couple highlights from the season when each of these two teams played each other. Y'all see how your boy kind of getting smarter with the content over the years, so we'll probably do that in the upcoming days, and I'll definitely talk more Memphis, Los Angeles, but really quickly here as we pivot to that series. And by the way, give all the credit in the world to Dennis Schroder for making that shot. I want to just say this about a Memphis, Los Angeles series. I'll be at one of the games. I don't know which one. I will definitely be there in my hometown of Memphis for one of those games. That's history in the FedEx Forum. That's history for the city of Memphis to have a megastar and LeBron James in the building for a playoff series. I mean, this will be something that we'll talk about for the rest of our life. Kids will talk about. Now, when I come in, Memphis, just want y'all to know, heads up, when you see your boy, say, hey, but I'm coming in that purple and gold. Let me just throw that out there now. When I come, I'm coming with the Laker colors on. But, hey, Memphis, if you get past L.A., I'll be rooting from you for there. But for now, I'm rooting with my Lakers. I just think it is a phenomenal time to be a basketball fan, to see this Memphis Grizzlies, Los Angeles Lakers matchup in the first round. That'll be Sunday, game one. Just two teams that have had some recent history. I think when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, everything they want, if you look at the Golden State Warriors' recent success and obviously success over the past decade, and then if you look at LeBron James' success and the success he's had his entire career, that's pretty much all they want out of the Western Conference. If they're able to beat the Lakers in the first round, then they'll most likely get that second round rematch against the Golden State Warriors, a Warriors team that beat them up in the second round of the postseason last year. Ja goes down. Series goes down the drain for Grizzlies. I'm letting you know there's a lot to play for Memphis. They'll be hype. I can't wait. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this game, though. Really great game. Minnesota played their behinds off. Just did not get enough production from Anthony Edwards. That's what it came down to. Mike Conley was sensational. He pretty much made up for AE's lackluster performance. You cannot have that from him in these big games, man. He's not fitting the part so far in his career in a lot of these big games. I think he had one really good game against Memphis last year in that first round. I think it was game one. He was really good. And then I think he maybe played another good game. He was great in game one, I think, against Memphis, and then had a really good game in like game three or game four, somewhere along the lines. But overall, not enough. Not enough, and he knows it. He's got to be better than that. He's a dog. He's a really good player. And he's got to play like that in these big games. He could have took that game over, and there wouldn't have been nothing that Anthony Davis, who almost blew this game at the end with the foul on Mike Conley, there's nothing AD or LeBron at these stages in their careers could have done about it. It could have been Anthony Edwards' game. It probably could have been Karl Anthony Towns' game. Cat gets in foul trouble. He tires out. AE didn't have it. Lakers come back. Huge win to clinch the 7th seed out west.